Blake's Buzz Live. Hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, buzz, babies, happy Wednesday. Hope you bought some new comic books. We're going to talk about comic books tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about ourselves and each other and how to respect that person inside better. Sort of. That's a loosey-goose thing of what we're going to talk about tonight. But real quick, before we get into it, I just want to remind people about our wonderful sponsor of the show. Let's bring this up. Look at that great graphic. Tonight's show is sponsored by Michael Gecko Adams, who has a new series, Hero, out from Keenspot. To keep up with what he's got going on, and trust me, you want to keep up with what he's got going on, get over to geckoadams.com and sign up for his free Substack. And tell your shops to put Hero on your pull list. You can still get issue 1. Issue 2 comes out this month. And if you can't find them at your shop, you go to that Keenspot shop, hit the link in the show notes, baby. By the way, any comic we talk about tonight, the link is going to be in the show notes conveniently for you to click and venture forth into the wonderful territory that is indie comics. But first, actually, we're gonna shout out the Omnibuds Cafe. What's up, sir? Very cool platform here. You should follow him and appreciate the shout out tonight, buddy. Thank you. And follow their YouTube channel. All right, let's get some people out here. First off, I do apologize. Laguna Studios was supposed to be here, but we had some technical difficulties, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. One day we'll get them here. You know, you would think they would. When we started working together, but no, it's built tension. I'm joking. Technical difficulties aside, we do have some cool books to talk about. Let's go. First up, I work with this guy. You may know him. He's on the EXP. He's the lightning behind the keys and the cameras and everything. Let's get him out here. Producer Kyle Northrup, what's up, baby?
Decaf.
I don't even drink coffee. Take green tea.
Okay, half calf, like something, bro. Like too much energy.
Not enough energy.
I appreciate you bringing me on here, man. But I have never had that much energy in my life, ever.
Well, it's because you're
except maybe when I'm arguing with Adam about QR codes. Then I have that much energy. No, what's up, everybody out there in the internet?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've had a kind of a weird night. Like it's I talked to you, then I talked to somebody else, then I had a big leadership meeting with the gang at the Experience where we talked about the future of that platform. Mm-hmm. And then I may or may not have organized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 short boxes of comics that are sitting right here that need to go to not here.
Moving a large collection sounds like the absolute worst thing in the world. Collecting all this and the accumulation of it, but getting it from point A to B when you need to is oof.
Shout out to the people at Ozark Trail for making wagons that I can put them all in.
Nice.
Ozark Trail, if you want to sponsor me.
Yeah, if any foldable wagon company wants to sponsor Blake's Buzz, I will talk to you. Happy to. All right, we got one more guest to bring out, and maybe a surprise guest later. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, honestly. But I do know that I've got one of the hottest new indie writers, and I'm talking not in the attractive scale. He's a beautiful man inside and out, but I'm talking about hot as in an explosive personality and voice on the indie scene. He's a writer of Superguy. His name's Anthony Iannoccio. Let's go, baby!
What the fuck is up?
All right.
What's going on, Blake?
Sorry about that. You get noisy back there. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Sweating. That was hard. That was an intense intro. Happy to have you back on the show, buddy.
Yeah, man. I'm always glad to be here.
It's nice. The two of you, because one of you does like shows and runs a podcasting network. One of you does a lot of promotional stuff on podcasts and has a podcast. So I know like cameras are going to work, audios, like things are going to happen. Like, look, we both got that SM7B going on at the, we got the boards with the lights and shit. See, that's the one thing I don't have is the board with the weird buttons that you can press to do whatever that thing's called. I don't have one of those yet. Not the
Bro, I
noise
got you.
thing,
We'll-
but it
we'll
does
hook it
like
up.
lights and shit.
We'll hook it up.
Whatever.
We'll get it
Sweet.
taken care of. No,
What happened?
so I got rid of the SM7B because I got tired of being tethered to a table.
Mm.
And I've gone to the clipped to my hoodie wireless, lavalier mic.
Yeah.
But like, if we really want to play games, I could bring out the Shure Super 55.
I almost bought one of those because they just look so fucking cool. I was this
awesome.
close.
I'll be honest, man. Once you hear your voice in your own ears come through this microphone, you kind of want to date yourself.
Can't buy any more
You just
audio
sound
equipment.
sexy.
Oh, it is. It is. That is a Weezer hat. Anthony's a big
Oh, hell
Weezer
yeah.
nerd.
Yeah,
Don't destroy his sweater. I've heard one of their songs. No, I've seen them live. They're a good band. Saw them and Cake at an outdoor show. It was fun.
Nice. That's
So
a
it was
great
good
combo.
time. It was a solid combo. Except they played No Phone, which was a good song, but they drew it out for about, oh man, I'm 20 minutes maybe. I mean, like it was a long rendition of No Phone, and they kept like, reinforcing the, put the phones away. And we were like, change the song. No, we didn't yell that, but it was like a thought. Anyway, it was a great show. It was just a very long No Phone. I think about that sometimes. It was like the lamb chop song that never ends, but Cake. Anyway, we're not obviously here to talk music all night. We're not going to do that. I listen to music that nobody likes. I'm into like President and Sleep Token right now, and everybody's like, "What the hell, you new age weirdo?" Anyway, like angry,
President is
sad,
great.
sexy stuff. You like them?
President is great.
Nice.
I got turned on to President by Drumeo. Have you guys seen Drumeo?
No.
On YouTube. It's part of this Musora group of YouTube channels. But so it's the big thing they got famous for was they had Chad from Red Hot Chili Peppers on, and they played 30 Seconds to Mars without the drum track. And he made it up on the spot.
They have to do it, fill it in. Yeah, I watched those shorts. I didn't know that's what it was called.
So yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so they did. The guy who's the host of the show for like their anniversary or whatever, his partners came in and he had to do one where he didn't have a drum track, and they played President for him. And I'm like, man, this song is awesome. And so I went and listened to literally everything. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of obsessed with this band now.
Yeah, they're good. It's they're coming with like oh my god, Bad Omens and some other people, and it's like almost $200. Anyway, sign up for my Patreon if you want to take me to a concert. I'm just joking. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't take me to a concert. I'm not worth it. Or maybe I would, maybe if you want something spicy to happen. I'm just joking.
Figure out a way to make content out
I
of
like President, but I don't know if I like them enough to put out to go to a show. You have to wine and dine me.
Wait, Blake, didn't you say we were going all the way to Australia for the Weezer concert?
I wish I would. That would be dope because I know a few people like depending on where, because like we could stay with like Ronan, or we could stay with David Hazan, Mad Cave's David Hazan, crash in his apartment. He'd let us. he would let me, and I'd talk him into letting you, Anthony. He would just have to meet you. I don't know if he knows you. We'll be like, get him on your podcast. He'll be fine. He's a good dude. I love David Hazan, but yeah, it's weird. I like Australia listeners out. They like those guys like me. They're good people. I would so go see Weezer. That I can't imagine what it would cost to fly out there though. Yeah. I was looking at like hotel prices for Arizona in January, and it was like $175 a night for a special rate for this the Coffin Comics is like doing their con deal, and I was like, I clicked the link and was looking at it because they like bought this house. This comic company bought this house, and they're gonna have private cons in Arizona, and like they're flying. They do like Kickstarter stuff, and they do like big money, like Lady Death Kickstarter stuff, right? Like it's got a huge fan base, and so the con price is like 3 days, but it's you go to this mansion. I'm sure they have like other events, but they're like you hang out in this mansion that they bought. To me, it's a mansion in a South Kansas City, like 1-story home without a basement. It looks like it looks like a mansion. Anyway, it was interesting, but I was like, holy shit, $175 a night, stay in Arizona in January. flight and everything's expensive, man. I just can't international travel, and then we'd have to come back, and you'd like not want to. You'd be like, what if we just stayed here?
Well, that's the problem. Like we were talking earlier, like Southern California in February, man. I'm from Ohio. Like it's like a different planet. Like it's like I'm taking shorts in February to someplace.
I know. It's gonna be
Why do
cold.
I have to go back to Ohio? Hey DC, can I just sleep in the parking garage at the office until like it warms up where I live? Like we worked that out, but no, it's one of those.
I'm worried here. It hasn't got. It's like slowly getting cold in Missouri, and like we're in the middle of November. It's fucking insane. We're in the middle of November, and it's not that cold yet. What is happening?
Yeah, we had a day earlier this week where it snowed, and where it was 30 degrees, and I'm like trying to haul long boxes out of the office in 30-degree weather. I'm going, you know what? I'd just as soon die.
Speaking of just as soon die, welcome to Three White Dudes Talk About the Weather.
Well, okay, like we want to talk about the weather. You know, if you go outside, I think as far south as where Blake is, you can see the northern lights tonight.
That's what they said.
Oh, really?
Dude, I went out. I'm probably gonna miss it tonight because I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm just joking. But we went out last night. My sister lives like a few blocks away. She was like, we could see it. My dad and I went out and looked up. The stars look cool. It's a very clear, dark purple night sky with just a lot of stars, but that red tint. Nah, I didn't get to see it. Not for Blake. No cosmic wonder for this guy. Just late nights and fucking podcasting. I love my life. All right. Well, it's good thing we haven't started talking about comics yet, because we got one more person to that surprise guest I was bringing in. Let's get ready. Is everybody ready? I'm ready. Let's get ready. This guy. He's the mind behind Prana Direct Market Solutions. He's the mind behind Prana Publishers. He's the lead publisher of Comics, the magazine. He's a co-host of Comic Industry Insiders and Comic Industry Insiders Live and Comic Industry Insiders Live Recast. And he's the mind. And he's behind the Prana Bullet. Let's get him out, Mr. Adam Freeman.
Oh my God. Whoa. Whoa. I love that, man. I'm gonna have you every meeting from now on. You're gonna introduce me to every time we meet with a new client. That is happening. What's going on? Hi, I'm Adam. I don't know if I know you guys. It's so nice to meet you. Yeah.
You guys all like have actually met in real life. I haven't met any of you. I don't know any of you technically.
Well, it's because you live out in the
AI.
You live out in the middle of the fields, in the cornfields or something.
I live in Kansas City. I live in the city in the middle of the fields.
You know what?
Right. As the guy who lives in the middle of the fields, I just tend to travel to where other people are, so I don't have to be in the middle of the fields.
What's your favorite comic shop in Kansas City? Somebody was just asking me.
I've been going to Pulp Fiction comics and games because they're really cool. And shout out to First Issue Club, a cool local podcast that have been around for a while, and they like have a cool deal with them. So like you go in and there's like the First Issue Club picks and things like that, and they got a nice like cool gaming area, and it's very clean and everyone's nice and
awesome.
Cool little shop. And then we have Clint's too, but Clint's is busy and it's in Midtown, so it's a bigger drive.
Gotcha.
So it's like, Clint's is cool, but Clint's is like historical. So like, I like to go there on like a free comic book day or something like that. Swing by.
Cool. I enjoyed Apotheosis the one time I was there, but they closed, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, all right. Clint's it is. Oh.
When I was Wednesday Warrior and this place closed too, I used to go to like AZ Comics and Games, and like that was when like, cause like Tuesday night was our dollar night. And so I'd wake up like hungover and like stumble into the comic shop and like pay for my pull with like 1s and 5s and be like, "Yeah, see you later, man." All right.
Oh, dude. Service. Yeah, there we go. Well, so I missed 10 minutes. What did I miss?
We talked about
the weather
and the weather and Weezer, and that traveling to Australia would probably be pretty expensive. Oh, we did talk about something we brought up in in Discord the other day that Coffin Comics Con. They bought that kind of mansion, you know.
Yeah.
One of the Sora, one of the artists that draws for them a lot, just posted the link. They're doing their first event, and like the 3-day ticket is $100, and then they're working with like a pretty nice hotel.
Okay.
I was just kind of, I clicked the link and was looking at it, you know, and I was like, damn, it's $175 a night to stay in the hotel, and they'll give you like a package deal until like the end of December. Yeah, and let's advertise for these people.
It's not bad.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's interesting that, like, I mean, they do astronomical Kickstarter campaigns, but I mean, they're just like, let's buy a house and do our, I mean, it's a pretty big house, but like, let's just do our own thing, do our own con, like fly these people out. And I don't know, it's kind of I'm interested to see how it works, or if it's, I'm sure they'll have like, door guys and stuff there if people get weird or whatever. So yeah, that'd be the only thing I'm worried about, is like smaller, more intimate settings. And like, do you trust people? I know it's not like a real person's, it's like a real house, but no one's like living there like officially. Anyway, that's just what I kind of thought about.
Well,
But,
it's
like, when you
interesting.
talk about,
Go ahead.
when you
Go
talk
ahead.
about the premise of the show, the believe in yourself, invest in yourself, promote yourself, Polito is that guy
He
to
is.
the nines. Like, there was some time where, we can get into the business of the business where, there's a reason that Evil Ernie is not there anymore, and some of these other characters maybe aren't there anymore. But like, that guy was like, I'm keeping Lady Death. I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket. I am going to just make it the single greatest thing, that I'm going to do it perfect. And he believed in himself, and he promoted the hell out of it. And that, when he probably should have been not promoting it and not doing some of the stuff he was doing it anyway, because now it's paying off.
And I'll go you one better, Kyle. He not only did he say, I'm going to bet on me, and I'm going to build this, I'm going to build my own IP, and I'm going to build my own products, and all of that, and I'm going to get behind crowdfunding. But like, that dude leaned all the way in on building a community around Chaos, around Lady Death, around those characters, and around crowdfunding. Like, he leaned all the way in. He knew who you were if you were a fan and buying stuff from him. And I think that's one of my biggest takeaways from what I think we're talking about, which is, you not only have to believe in yourself, but you also have to like believe in those that believe in you, and kind of bring them up with you, and just like do your best to support the crew that you have, and not only the crew that you have, but the followers, the supporters, the customers. Like, if you're investing in them, you're investing in yourself. Right.
Yeah. And he's a content machine too. Like he knows exactly how to play to his audience. He's got a whole studio. They got a camera team and stuff. I mean, they make like legit content. So like, it's the well-oiled machine that is Coffin Comics is cool. So yeah, I mean, like it's a very interesting thing, and what it could mean for, bigger little indie publishers going forward to, cause who else does this? Zenoscope does it. Pat Shand always talks about they do it for their creators. They have like a creator con that's like a private party for their people. But he always talks about how great stuff that is. Real quick, shout out to the chat. We got Chris Daly with Fueled by Weird is in the house. Y'all should go follow Chris. He is a real good people. I think, Anthony, you've been on his show, right?
Yeah, he has a great show.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. And then Omni was also saying he gets out to Olathe, Kansas for work. There's a cool shop there. Yeah, shout out to Elite Comics. I used to, before Jason Aaron was like the icon. I mean, he was always a name, but before he was like the icon that he is right now, and with everything going on, like he used to go to Elite Comics a lot. And so when people found out about that, and then it was kind of good for them, because like on Wednesdays they'd pop off. But yeah, every now and then, I never got to see him. But I went to Elite Comics a couple times, being like, man, it'd be real cool to bump into Jason Aaron and be like, hey, you want to come on Blake's butt? Anyway, didn't work. But I did get to interview Jason Aaron at Planet Comic Con a couple years ago, and he told me about Pizza Tasio before it blew up, which it's on like every radio station commercial right now, and it's huge, and it's like Kansas City's like #1 pizza joint. And before it blew up in the last few months, like Jason Aaron told me, he was like, dude, no, I love Pizza Tasio. It's like the place where I go. So yeah, he introduced me to pizza. or well, not to like pizza. He introduced me to Pizza Dacio and IDW.
Dude, you're not gonna believe this. They take dough, right? And then they put some sauce
shape
on
it.
it, but not just any sauce, right? But they like this like really good tomato sauce, fucking mozzarella. No, sorry.
Olive oil. Just a
You know,
little bit of oregano.
in a
Just
real
sprinkle.
hot oven, like super, like hotter than you think it would be.
Yeah.
And in Chicago, they make a casserole and call it a pizza.
No, come on.
It's good. I like those. I do like them. Shout out. Speaking of the EXP, there's a barbecue place in Olathe in the back of a gas station. Kansas. Well, it used to be Oklahoma Joe's. Now it's KC Joe's. Because they made him change the name. I don't know if they made him change the name or if he just did it.
That's
but-
the place.
I'd like to point out that that says BBQ, and that is different than barbecue.
Oh,
That if you're saying the word barbecue, it means one very specific thing. And if you're saying the word barbecue, you have to, for what it is you're thinking of as barbecue, you have to call it Kansas City barbecue. Otherwise, it's just not accurate.
it's just not accurate. That makes
Do we
not
really
accurate.
want to get
You-
into this today, Adam?
Oh,
If
this
you're using
is-
the word barbecue, that is a smoked, usually brisket with a dry rub. That's what barbecue means. Everything else is just you have to.
and in Kansas
smoke
City,
any meat.
we took that and we took what no one wanted to use, which was the hog, and we turned a hog into a beautiful thing.
no
Into a lot
doubt,
of beautiful things,
no doubt.
which is barbecue. Anthony,
No.
let me catch you up. Many moons ago, Adam, when Adam was at Bad Idea, he tricked me with a giant box of exclusive, like limited Bad Idea comics that were like so hard to get. And he was like, "We'll come on." They sent me this huge box of fucking. It was so awesome. I was so stoked. They come on the show and we start talking about. We got into a debate about barbecue, and then oddly enough, it was like a week or two later, like you and Matt, didn't like all of you fly out here for that museum exhip? And
Oh, that's
then
right.
you-
Yeah.
Did you even eat any barbecue while you were out here? Did you?
I did. I had some barbecue. I had, yeah. And also I was looking around for like, what is the thing that Kansas City has that nobody else has, right? And so I had some barbecue. But the thing they said was, I don't know, fried ravioli. And so I tried fried
You guys didn't know about fried. You didn't know about T-Ravs. You didn't know about the toasted ravs, dude.
Oh man, it's just fried dough. It's
So
not
good.
it's not that it's not. I mean, seriously, the fact that you
So-
guys are proud of this says more about you than it does the food. That's all.
Wait, I've had fried ravioli. My mom makes it all the time and puts like powdered sugar on top of it. It's so good.
Whoa, like a sweet one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, mom.
So Adam's Texan comes out when he talks about barbecue,
That's right.
and he
Wow.
forgets that like I'm like this guy.
Oh, hello.
Nice. Wow.
Wow,
Wow. Oh, hello.
that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Also, that's what you get when you go you went to downtown's Jack Stack, which Jack Stack is mid anyway. They have great cheesy corn, but you didn't even go to the original Jack Stack. You went to hipster Jack Stack. Oh, come on, man. Just get out of here. Yes, I'm down. I'm always down to nerd out and hang out.
Jeremy Shore in the chat. Can we I don't have any control here. Can you get that
Oh, Jeremy Shore is here.
That's right.
Wow.
Jeremy Shore of Titan Comics.
I made it. I made it.
You did make it, buddy. Bob Wayne, very kind of famously in our world, was the head of sales and marketing for DC for I don't know, many years. He basically created that department, and he was one of the people who really supported the direct market and kind of built it up. And he also built this incredible sales team. Anyway, from my hometown in Fort Worth, Texas. And I actually, my first comic I ever bought was from one of the comic shops that he owned at the time. I was a teenager. I was just a little 13-year-old riding my bike to his comic shop and picking it up. And he always joked if he had known, he would have run me over. But it's good to see you, Jeremy. Also,
Yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. That is, you mentioned, we've mentioned it a couple times and tiptoed around it. This idea of lifting each other up and building each other up, and this thing about like what we call self-promotion, which this is why I got the idea tonight. Other than Anthony and I DMing each other, just complaining about how hard the industry is and that we both work too hard and don't get enough credit for it. just joking.
Dude, come on. Oh, speaking of, by the way, Blake, if you guys haven't yet, you should watch. There's a show that Blake and Kyle produce for us as a team. It's called Comic Industry Insiders Live. It goes live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Tuesday's show, you should go and check out the recording because Blake here did an amazing, I want to say 10 minutes, but I think you were close.
It was 15. It was definitely 15. I checked the time. I knew it was over.
He did a 15-minute class on the act of generosity as marketing and on giving comics away and being generous with your audience and using the fact that we print these things, and the most expensive decision you're going to make whenever you turn on a printing press is when to turn it off, right? The cheapest decision you're going to make is that, because you can do an extra 1,000 for less than it costs to get the whole thing started, right? So he did this amazing presentation, and you guys should definitely go watch it. All right.
Thank you. And
this
you
is
should
for somebody who
subscribe
says he's not getting enough credit, though. That's all.
You should also subscribe to Comic Industry Insiders, because every Tuesday we do the live stream, and then every Thursday we do like an in-depth interview with people that are making moves in the industry. But these aren't, we're not, I mean, yeah, one day we would like to get like Scott Snyder and Adam in a room to talk about stuff, but we like to talk to creators, but we also talk about like the retailer icons, the publisher icons, like people that are like really behind the scenes making a lot of moves that a lot of us don't know about. And so it's wildly fascinating. Like if you're a retailer, if you're a fan, if you're in the industry in any way, I would highly advise that to like check us out, because we're giving away a lot of knowledge for free.
Right.
And so, and tonight's like theme of lifting each other up, we all work fucking hard on that show, and you should watch it. And I think it shows.
We really do. And I will say that I'm gonna derail here or something. There's two things that you said that kind of bumped up against each other for me, which is 2018 I left Valiant, and I knew I was going to go into a process of doing a lot of freelance work. So I started Prana Direct Market Solutions, and it was honestly just an umbrella for like working freelance. I didn't expect to ever publicize this logo, right? I thought it was just going to be an email thing. Otherwise, I don't know that I would name my company after a Sanskrit term. But anyway, we did this, and then I went through several years of really focusing in on like one client at a time. Like for a while it was Comic Hub, for a while it was a Bad Idea. And towards the end of Bad Idea, I realized I really just want to lean into Prana. I just want to lean into that. Now, about that time, I got a gig that we still have, working with a company that started off as a cybersecurity firm called Black Hills Information Security. They launched a comics publisher called Rekka Comics. We've been putting out a book for them called The Future Is. It's in stores now. You should go to Jeremy's store, Titan, and pick it up. Okay. All of this to say, the guy who runs the publisher of that company, is a man named Jason Blanchard. And I was talking to him about how they built all of this. And he said, give away everything that you can afford to. Just give it away for free. And then the work comes to you. I was just on the phone. Part of the reason I was late was I was having this conversation with somebody who's been working with me since 2019, a man named Anthony Militano. And we were talking about how the company's really taking off. And I told him it was because of this. Like, we leaned into this idea of, we're going to give away everything we can afford to. We're going to give away all the secrets. All the secrets are out there, right? Nothing is being held back at this point. And then, but what ends up happening is when you give it away and you give it away and you give it away, people start to see you as an authority. They see that you know what you're talking about because you're giving it away. And so they show up when you need them to. And here's the other secret. Here's the second part of that 1-2 punch is there's a man named Seth Godin, somebody who I absolutely admire, who has written several books on marketing. One of the phrases that he uses a lot that I keep coming back to is, it's either full price or it's free, right? So anything that you can afford to give away, you give away for free. But when they show up, you charge them the full rate. And that's the key. And that's why Prana has grown. I think we're at 6x this year. I mean that, and
Wow.
we brought on Blake. So there you go.
Well, and to kind of add on to Adam, like earlier we were talking, Blake and I were talking about like the side hustles that I have, right? Like my company does more than just run the experience. Like I'm doing an event tomorrow that's a fundraiser for our local mobile meals, right? Like in a time where food insecurity is a real problem, like mobile meals takes food to like old people and people who need help, right? And the idea is that like the first year I did this gig, I'd go put my logo on the banner and we'll call it even. I'll bring my team in, I'll bring all my tech in, I'll give you my photo booth business, all of it for absolutely free. Just put my name on the banner.
Yeah.
And that got me gigs with our local newspaper for their Christmas party and our local, hockey team and baseball team, where I do media coaching for the hockey and baseball team. And like all of those people pay me enough money that I could do this event for basically free. And like
That's good.
now they pay me just enough that I can pay helpers because we've grown it so much that I need more than just me. So they're basically paying for my help to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
At this event. And it's like, I don't want to take your money. You're doing something good for my community. And oh, by the way, I'm going to charge the people who make a lot more money than you do a lot more money.
That's right.
And it's the idea of being charitable or giving it away because you can afford to give it away, knowing that, for lack of a better term, the karma will come back. The business karma will come back.
True.
For years, like when I was, as a retailer and when we were starting the XP, I would talk to Adam and he would just be like, man, I don't think that's going to work the way you think it's going to work. And just kind of give me the insight that he had from years of hard fought, knowledge in this business. And it saved me from running my head through a blender. And I'm bald enough, but it's giving it away because of friendship or because of relationship or because that's just what he was doing. Set my business up as the experience to be stronger now. We're looking into our 5th year at, he said 6x for Prana, of getting to that point for us. So it's this idea of when you give it away and then you partner with other people who have the same mentality, things just start to explode.
Yeah. Anthony I actually tried to tell Anthony not to give something away in his Kickstarter campaign and he didn't listen to me, but he had a great first Kickstarter campaign, which I'm actually stoked to talk about in just a second. I want to shout out to, we got a lot of people saying some stuff in the chat. First of all, Jeremy's still at the store working. I've heard rumors he never leaves, and now we know. Also, shout out to Michael Malone, good dude, a writer who also, this is, dude, anything we can do to take your mind off that, dude. Fuck cancer. Stay strong, bud. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's Anthony. When he did his Kickstarter, he teamed up with, or you talked to Whamstan, and gave away the Superguy logo. I'll see if I can find it here. Yeah, the Superguy logo we can see on screen right here. It's on my refrigerator, because how do you not put this magnet on the refrigerator? But like, I was like, dude, that sounds expensive, I was like, just, I was like, are you? And he was like, no, I want to do it, and you for your first camp, you put up the numbers in your first campaign, and I think it blew you and your artists away. I mean, you were having fun and riding that wave, but what's your kind of, how do you feel about that? That was a sacrifice, a big give on your part. You had, a larger amount of fulfillment to do than you thought, that to offer that trinket, what do you think about generosity?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, so starting off with like the one shot I did, right? I printed it. I would always try to just send people digital free versions of that to like get anybody interested in the first comic I did, right? Then when I went to Comic-Con last year, I printed ash cans of those, which I then gave away for free to anyone that I could, creators, friends that I met at the con. And then again, this year I gave away free copies digitally while the Kickstarter was going on to like drum up some interest with like reviews, podcasts, things like that. But then I printed out, the extra copies I had, I was giving those away for free at Comic-Con. Like, I didn't sell any copies of Superguy at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con this year, but pretty much anyone I ran into, I tried to give them a copy. And so I'm a big believer in giving people stuff away for free. Honestly, like, as a career, like, writing, I've never really made money from it. I've almost always, YouTube, I'm putting stuff up there for free when I was doing like sketch comedy stuff. Like anything I've ever put out there is just free. And I don't necessarily hate that or mind it, but it makes it easier to I guess, like, for instance, I want to give Superguy #1, the digital version, away for free starting next month. That way, as we roll into issue 2, at least people who, didn't want to commit to anything, they have another chance to check it out. Because really, I just want people to read the comic, right? Like, I don't really have any big ideas that I'm going to make money in comics. It's not necessarily what I'm trying to do. It would be cool. I would just love for people to check out my writing and, the work of the artists I'm working with, at least at this point in my, like, career. So giving away stuff for free, I'm always on board for that.
Nice. I always like it when people agree with me. It's fun. It doesn't always happen. Big surprise, right? Also, Jeremy is headed home. I'm happy.
Jeremy, have a good night, buddy.
I'm happy. Yeah, and man, that's late nights in comics. Though sometimes it happens. It's in this whole weird. I mean, whether it's like podcasting, streaming, prepping, production, there's always something to do at night. I feel like you got to burn. You even said you were working late tonight. Is why you hopped on. You said you were.
Honestly, this has been my only chance to clean up my office, which I'm still doing while we talk. I hope you don't mind.
So Steph doesn't get mad at you.
that's right, exactly. Because at some point she goes through and scrutinizes what's behind me in the shot. But yeah, so I always schedule 2 or 3 nights a week. I have a family, so I can't do it every night of the week, and because I like it when they like me. But there have definitely been times when I will, you go late every night. But I think it also, that is just giving, it's just, for me, it's all about, like, I don't ever want to look back and think I was the one who kept things from happening. Right. I was the one who didn't push it that one last 5%, that one last 2% that could make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Where, the guy in the chat who said he was working on his writing his book, and this conversation reminds me of something that just happened recently, where I was at a party, good friend of mine, and met this woman, and we were talking, and she goes, "What do you do?" And I've started just saying, "I work in comics publishing." It just makes it easier. And yeah. Oh, you don't see what? There you go. You are already doing what I'm about to tell you to do. So I'm at this, and that says this. She goes, "Oh, maybe you could help me. I really want to figure out how to find an agent. I'm writing my first novel, and I want to figure out how to find an agent." And I said, "Listen, it's going to be tough, especially your first. I know several are literary agents. It's going to be tough. So, but here's what I will tell you. I'll tell you the same thing I tell every single person in entertainment, in writing, in creative work, period. You have two controls, 2 leverage points when you're dealing with agents or publishers or whomever. It's the quality of your work, right? It's how good is this thing that I'm saying here. I made this, pay attention to it. You control that level of quality. If you're putting everything you can into it, that's it, right? You let it go, and then that's it. You have to abandon it at some point, and that is the best thing you could create right now. And the second part is your audience. When you bring an audience with you to a publisher, you get to leverage right now. Every time I try to tell a story, I should probably look up his name. There's the guy who did Silo. There's a novel, the series Silo on Apple TV.
Oh, Hugh something.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Anyway,
Hugh Howey.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. He had this incredible interview with Tim Ferriss where he talked about how he built this audience of his work before he ever went to go to an agent or to a publisher. He just was putting out chapters for free. He was engaging with the audience. He was asking people what they think. He was working with them, and he would like just build that audience first. And then when he went to, I want to say it was HarperCollins, he said, all right, you can have my work, but here's my audience. Here's the quality of the novel. If you want it, I own the rights outright. All you get to do is print it. You get to print it and sell it, and that's it. And now those deals, I'm told, are gone completely, but who knows? But I think if we see this a lot in comics now, where people will come in from outside of our field, and maybe they're YouTube influencers, or maybe they are famous chefs or whatever. Like, they have built this audience. They get to bring that in and leverage that into having, making the comic they've always wanted to make. If you work on the audience and the quality of the work, that's it. That's the whole secret. Like, everything else that we're talking about is just falls under one of those two things. And oh shoot, we were talking about him earlier. Man, it is late for me. Evil Ernie, Lady Death,
Coffin Comics.
Brian
Oh,
Pulido.
Alito,
Brian
yeah.
Pulido, he did just that, right? He bet on himself, and he just built and built and built this audience, and he invested in them, and they invested in him, and to this day, he is his own entity. He gets to throw his own convention in a house that he bought
With
as a
comic book
playground for his books. How crazy is that, right? I mean, but that's just it. That is the dream.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's that old like cliche that luck is the intersection of preparation and perspiration.
Yep.
When we first started the EXP, we did the whole thing with no money. Like, we had some money, but like, we did the whole thing, we bootstrapped it, right? It was, if I couldn't animate it, we couldn't get it animated, right? If I couldn't edit it, we couldn't get it edited. If I couldn't make the graphics, we couldn't make the graphics, right? That was just the way it was. And the line I kept telling people is, if I don't work harder than the next 10 guys up, we're never going to get to where we want to be, because there are 10 more guys who are doing comic book YouTube, comic book Facebook, comic book Twitch, that are just going to fill in that gap. So I've got to put in the hours to learn to put together the quality so that I can build the audience, so that when we're ready to go to somebody like Prana or somebody like whoever to partner to do advertising and to do marketing and whatever, like, we have a product that's actually marketable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, all you can control is how hard you hustle. Like, there's a small publisher, I'm not going to say their name, but there's a small publisher that is out of the Midwest, and their whole thing was, we hustle harder. And like, I took that to heart, because one, don't claim my town without being from my town, but two, like, it's true. Like, where I'm from, the whole economy was built on the sweat and blood of auto workers and railroad workers. We work harder than everybody else around here. At least we used to back in the 60s. So I wanted to work hard. I needed to work harder than everybody else, because I had less to start with and build it to there, right? So if you're just out there, like, again, writing your first novel, I'm writing my first comic book. Like, I've been in comics for almost 20 years. I'm writing my first comic book. Well, I'm having to spend twice as long working on it as another writer, because, well, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never done it. I need to make sure I'm not ripping anybody off, but I also need to make sure that the quality is there, because what is all this experience good for if I put out something trash?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also the other side of that is, like I said, every art is never completed. It's only abandoned, right? At some point, you're going to have to let that go and let it be who you are in this moment, because the next one's going to be better, right? But that is the flip side of that, is that you're gonna. I mean, yeah, the reason that I don't write is I wanted to be a writer when I was younger, and I started writing. I had like 2 or 3 abandoned manuscripts, and I just hated that. I just didn't sound like me, and I sounded like the people that I liked. I think if I had kept going and I'd been able to and get through there, I would have figured out how I sounded. This episode, this last episode that we did of the live show, was a big turning point for me because I really felt like it started to sound like the show that I was hearing in my own head, you know. Like it had all the components that I really had always wanted this show to have. And I will say that I tried to do a version of this show back in 2010, where there were just live streaming was just beginning. We called it Comic Center because we were going to try to be the sports center for comics. And I hated it then. I hated the sound of it. This last week, I think, was the time, and we've been doing this now for 11 months, right? I mean, that's just it. It took me 11 months to get to a place where I thought I sounded okay. And I remember the first time I was on a webcast with Jason Blanchard. They have been doing it for years, and he was just so easy for him and so seamless. And I thought, oh God, I'm never going to be that good. This was legitimately the first week where I went, oh yeah, I don't sound bad.
Yeah.
You know, there's still plenty to work on, but yeah, I don't sound bad yet.
You guys brought up something interesting, and I wanted to ask Anthony's opinion about it because you guys mentioned, being in the industry like Kyle, and like what and when you know what doesn't work, and you know what does work, and you know what's selling, obviously when you're in retail, right? And how that translates into creating your own comic, right? And Adam, you're indirectly in control of a lot of storytelling, even though you're not like the writer and the editor, right? And also retail experience, industry experience. Anthony, you've got like, you took this press and podcasting industry experience, and your Comics and Chronics is doing well. Cause I like, before your Kickstarter, I know you were at like what, 50,000 downloads, 60,000 downloads ish around Kickstarter time.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
In my opinion, that's impressive numbers. That's like killer. So you're interviewing press, comics, you buy them and collect them out. You know how things go. Did that knowledge that you had accumulated, how'd that translate when you're making the scripts, you're working with the artists, Superguy's coming to life?
Yeah, I mean, I've written like scripts before for TV and movies. Just like that's what I was trying to be a screenwriter for a little while. I've done short stories, so like I've written before. I've tried to write this first comic script. So I had that with me, but like I guess in terms of the podcast, talking to creators and getting more into like the nitty gritty of how like the industry actually works. And honestly, I still feel like I barely know anything about it. Like I'm actually grateful for like the show you guys do, because I'm trying to tune in almost every week, but I always learn something. So like I feel like it was pretty much like I got the opportunity to do a story in an anthology, right? And that's kind of just what pushed me. I think that no matter whether I thought I was ready or whatever, it didn't matter, I guess. Like, because as soon as the opportunity came along, I tried to throw something out there, and I think that just led to more and more. Like that gave me the confidence that made me sit back and like, okay, I did a 10-pager, but when I do this longer, this, full length issue, let me actually like, sit down and try to do it like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say I just like did it by the wheel of my pants, like the seat of my pants, but like, there's something about just like reading comics all the time that like, there's a language to it, obviously. And I feel like that helped. But I don't know. I really just feel like doing it, I don't think it's like a perfect comic, but finishing a comic, something clicks in your brain, finishing any story, finishing any project, something clicks in your brain and you're like, okay, on the next project, on the next story, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D differently, because it's something just, you feel like once it's complete, what worked and what didn't work for the most part. I don't know. Does that answer the question?
A little bit. And then it's also interesting how you're taking that momentum. And part of the tonight's topic is investing in yourself, right? Because as we find out, a lot of these endeavors that we take, these things aren't cheap. You mentioned something, table costs. It seems like every year they're getting more expensive, and that's something you're diving into and experimenting with now,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool because I think there are a lot of indie creators that will be like, well, maybe I have like one book, or I don't have enough to table, or it's not worth me to try and do a book signing somewhere. It's not worth me to ask a shop if I can sit down with a few comics and try, and I think that's bullshit. I think it's absolute total bullshit. Comics are hard work. And if you make one and it's printed and it happens, you should celebrate it. And a lot of those people at those shops, at those bookstores, at those libraries, at those cons know how hard that work. Anyway, you are you've been at tables, you've had some good and bad experiences at cons, right? But I love the tenacity. I love that you're like, I'm going back. I'm going to try this. I'm going back. Let's maybe try a variant. Maybe we'll try a print, stuff like that. I think that's the way to be. I have an intense question for you, because you've got a fairly new baby. She's getting bigger, but she's still pretty new. Still pretty tiny. So married, baby, balancing that just on like both time and financially, right? For the cons and the printing and stuff gets expensive. Like, what's it like talking to your family? Like, is it easy to get your family on board to back you as well? Because I mean, ideally, yeah, your partner's like with you, but like sometimes you got to be like, dude, like the dumpster fire of the world right now is this the time to chase our artistic dreams? These are things you got to ask. So what's that like with a younger family, little baby? What's that drama like? Spill the details.
No, there's not really any drama. I think I'm just really lucky. My wife is super supportive of everything. I think she really, she sees the vision, right? Like she believes in me, I guess, probably even more than I believe in myself. But like, I think, we've been together for a long time, since like 2013. So we know each other. She knows me. I've constantly been trying to like get my writing out there, right? Like I've just, taken different paths and I never stopped working on it, right? Like you're saying, you like the tenacity. That's just who I am, until I feel like I've succeeded in the way I want to. That's when like maybe I'll lose that tenacity. I don't know, but like I just got to keep going for it. So like again, I'm really lucky that my wife like kind of, I don't want to say lets me, but like she agrees with my choices. I always talk to her about them. I'm sure she's not happy about all of them, that's for sure. But I try to do what I do. Like life just comes at you, right? Like I didn't plan to get an opportunity to make a comic. I didn't, it's just the way life works. So like until it like really like interferes in a way that would like, I don't know, be detrimental to us, I think the balance is there, but probably the balance tips towards me, and again, it's just my wife is kind of selfless that way. So
there's something here that I was just talking about with the other Anthony I was talking to tonight, Militano, and he was, we've been at this together for, gosh, I don't know, 7 years together, and there are certain projects that we've been working on that have, like I thought were just months away from being done the whole time we've been together, and we are just now getting close to something that's usable, and a lot of it I realized was, well, let me put it this way. Dinesh Shamdasani was somebody I've worked with for about a decade. Before I met him, they owned Valiant Entertainment. They owned all of the copyrights and trademarks. They bought it out of bankruptcy. And these were just two kids, didn't know what they were doing. And I said, how did you know to like wait for 7 years to like get this right? Because they owned it for like 7 years before we came out in 2012. And he said, are you kidding me? For 7 years, I thought this was going to be 3 months away. For 7 years, I thought this was this close. And, and that company I sold for a record setting. It's got to be, I don't know. It's hard to know because so many of these things are private, but like when it finally sold, I think it's the number 3 top amount that was paid for a publishing company of all time.
Listen, if it sells for I Can Buy the Ultimate Fallout 4 cover money, it's got to be in the top 5.
Yeah, he's got more than a little bit of cash. Anyway, and I realized that like this project that Anthony and I have been working on, Militano, has been, it has been 6 years of, oh well, we're just like a month away, like legitimately, and I think where it comes from is you do have to be single-minded. You do not single-minded because my nearly debilitating ADHD doesn't allow me to be single-minded about anything. But but you do have to just constantly be chipping away at it, because eventually you're going to find the weak spot. Eventually you're going to find the hole in the fence, right? And you're going to exploit that. But the key is that you have to be in the room over and over and over again, and bringing the same kind of value and the same kind of intention. And if you are coming at it, I think from a good place, people see that, and eventually you gain trust. And trust is the true currency here, because if you have that trust, then people will allow you to their access to their toys and allow you to do these cool things. But you don't get there. I think when I was younger, I really thought this was going to go faster, because, we came up in a time when, 25-year-olds who knew how to code were building billion-dollar companies. Well, that's the survivorship bias of those, like, half a dozen people in the world. But it's also B, for most of us, the work is about building up enough trust in that account that you get to work on more and more interesting things, and you get to use what you learned the last time to figure out to bypass the same sort of struggles. Or your friend Kyle calls you and says, I have this idea, and you go, all right, the last 3 people I know who tried that ran into this problem. If you can solve this problem, maybe you'll get there. But because I've met those 3 people and I watched them try and fail, I know how these kinds of things fail. So I just spent 10 minutes as basically saying the word, you need experience, but that experience is what builds the trust, which is what gets you there. And again, all of that goes into, I'm investing in you, you invest in me, right? It's that generosity, it's that showing up, it's that constantly staying ahead of it. And to your question from Anthony, I've got 3 kids. I've made a living in comics for 30 years. Now, don't get me wrong. There have been times when it was just barely a living, and there have been times when I've had to be bailed out by family. But I've made a living in this industry for 30 years, and it's because A, I'm not very good at anything else, but B, I just kept showing up for whatever was next. And if there's any level of success, which just seems like a silly word for what we've done, it's because of that. It's because people trusted us.
Well, yeah. So quickly to add what Adam said, I can remember the first time I met Adam was 2013 at a retailer summit. He was working for Valiant, and I had the same plan going into that retailer summit as I did yesterday getting up to go to work. Napoleon's battle plan. First we show up, and then we see what happens.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If you don't show up, you're never going to see what happens, right? And it's like talking about getting tables at conventions. You get your own table for the first time, you're like, I can't make this money back. Well, then hey, I got another friend who's also tabling and they're in the same boat. Well, what if we split? Right? Yeah. Well, now you've shown up, you've seen what happens, now you can plan better, right? And the second part, and this is another thing that it's funny. Friday is my 11-year soberversary, and my
congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats.
The person who helped me get sober has always told me this story, and he stole it from Aaron Sorkin, I believe. It's guy walks down the street and falls in a hole.
Yeah.
Right. First guy comes by is a doctor. He goes, Doc, can you help me out? Doctor writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole. Second guy walks by is a priest. Father, can you help me out? I'm stuck in this hole. I can't get out. Priest writes out a prayer, throws it down in the hole. Finally, his buddy comes along. He goes, Joe, I'm stuck in this hole. Can you help me out? And his buddy jumps down in the hole, and he goes, what are you doing? Now we're both stuck here. And his buddy goes, yeah, but I've been down here before. I know the way out. right? It's
Nice.
finding friends and finding partners and finding people who have done it before and walked the road even a little bit ahead of you, and just asking them, hey, what can you share with me? What are you willing to share with me? Helps me to not fall into the same potholes.
Yeah.
Right. Adam telling me, hey man, what you're doing is pretty much definitely going to fail. But here's what I know from the people who have failed before you. Okay, well, I'm just going to go this other direction and try this other thing. And if I fail, I fail, but at least I've tried. So
Yeah.
there's something to all that, right? Like,
Well, a note on just like we mentioned tenacity, and Adam mentioned, like showing up, right? And literally what you guys do at the EXP is you have like a schedule that is like, it's relentless and it shows up. You recently did a 24-hour live stream for local comic shop day, right? Like a literally unending stream of comic book content. You manage all these shows. I know you have a team and you do a lot, but you're not only do you have this expansive network of comics, which I don't know a lot of like channels to like compare the EXP to, just in like the wide the assortment of shows you guys offer that all in one way or another relate to comics, right? But you're continuing to add more content, and you're always thinking of new things, whether Adam shoots him down with a double shotgun dream killer that he keeps under his desk. No, I'm but like, whether for whatever happens, you're like,
but
tell us about what that's like because that is, I know a little bit. I produce my show and I help with Adam, but like really thinking of like content on that kind of scale is fucking terrifying to me. Like that sounds so scary.
It is. And I'm scared about it every day. I'll be real honest. So the idea of the experience came out of COVID. I lost I was a retailer. I lost my shop to COVID. I'm working at a 3-ring binder factory, which, I get great job, hard work, but like not super hard mentally. You're making 3-ring binders. As long as you don't put your finger in the rivet press, you're all right. And I managed to do that. But anyway, I get a call from Jen King one day going, we want to start a thing. And it's like, oh, I get to stay in comics. All right, whatever it takes to get to stay in comics, I'm going to do. Right? So it became this idea, this relentless pursuit of, if I keep making stuff, if I keep doing stuff, they can't ask me to leave. And that for me was like a big part of it, right? Like I can't, they can't ask me to leave if I keep making stuff. So that was a part of it. And then we started putting together the idea for the experience. And what I realized was that I could, I maybe need to recode. I need to call Brian. I need a new website.
Are these times incorrect? All right,
well, we don't have a dance party anymore because Brainy got busy. But yeah, most of that's still accurate.
Still though, anyway, Monday through Friday at
Sunday through Friday.
Sunday through Friday. I mean, you can tune in at various times and nerd out with people live, and you can enjoy comics with other people. Like
the pitch I gave them, they had another executive producer at first, and he wanted to do some stuff that like not everybody was down with, but it would have been a good channel. And I came in with the pitch of, what if you could go to your local comic shop while sitting on your couch? And it was, wait, what? And I go, what if when you go to a local comic shop, what do? You talk to the clerk, you talk to the other people in the shop, you share stories, you share, hey, did you read the new Red Coat this week? Or did you read The Future Is Number 7? Like, holy crap, what a story. Like Fred Van Lente
better
on
read
fire,
The Future Is Number 7, motherfuckers.
Or
better get out there.
Dan Panosian is doing the best work of his career. You have those conversations, and then you buy stuff. So what if we made shows where you got to have those conversations and then you got to buy stuff? So it's, how do I combine G4 or MTV from the 90s with Home Shopping Network?
And comics.
And that was what we started building. And bro, the amount of failures in the first 18 months, in the first 2.5 years, in the first 3, like the number of things where we did 6 episodes of a thing and then we're like, all right, punt, we're done. For a year, we did a game show called Nerd Killer Warfare. That was a really fun show, but what we realized was it's not sustainable. Like, to make a game show with no budget and no prizes was like not sustainable. And then to get guests every week was not sustainable. And okay, we want to do this, but we're going to set this off to the side and we're just going to bring it back once in a while. Right? We did an interview show, Talk and Shop, which has been successful and it was good, but it got to the point where booking that show became untenable. So we set it off to the side. But what did we do? We found another way to have those conversations. And we pivoted the creator interviews into the FOC show that I do with Matthias, right? Where it's every week we have a creator on who's got a book on FOC rather than having a creator on who's got a book in short stores that week.
Oh.
We used to have 2 shows that would go over new releases on Tuesdays. Well, now we're down to 1 show that goes over new releases on Tuesdays. And you immediately follow that up with the opportunity to pre-order new releases that are out on Wednesday on Tuesday night. So if your local comic shop didn't have it, you've got a chance to get it from another local comic shop in the US, right? And we vet everybody. There's nobody on the experience, with the exception of that guy, that, you know, hasn't been doing this for a long time. And by the way, 11 months now qualifies him for a long time. Like, it's it's everybody who joined us had been live selling for a long time, or had been podcasting for a long time, had been hosting for a long time. And what we've seen is as people leave and new people join, it just gets stronger. You let your community build itself on some level. And our whole thing is community, not consumers, right? There are so many very popular platforms right now where to get on the platform, you've got to download their app. You've got to sign up for an account. You've got to give them your credit card information. You've got to then find the kind of people you want to interact with and choose to interact with them. And maybe they'll give a damn. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. How do you get to those things? You just open your phone, right? Everybody has those, right? It's this idea of the community will like you build a community, and if there's something you're selling that they want, they will then buy it. It's not transactional, it's relational. And trying to figure out how to do that remotely from every time zone in the United States, and at times England and Hawaii and Spain and all of these places is tough. But you know what? You wake up early in the morning, you go to sleep late at night, you spend 2/3 of your budget on energy drinks, and you just make sure your heart doesn't beat funny. And you just do it because, again, a day working in comics, the worst day working in comics is 1,000,000 times better than the best day working in a 3-ring binder factory.
Yeah. Fucking A. I'll reinforce that. Even when it's hard and stressful and scared, and I'm nervously sending Adam messages in Discord, it's like, what else would I even rather be doing? And when I've solved some problems. I've been not like crazy bar fights. I'm not like a ninja, right? But like I've handled some shit, and like when you get an asshole out of the bar and the packed bar like cheers and you feel like I've had experiences like that, and I've been that guy. And there's still nothing like when everybody's in a meeting trying to solve a problem about a book we need to get out, right? Or about like how do we something interesting about a Kickstarter, or a client's like first Kickstarter coming back onto the scene and it blows up in a way we didn't fucking think imaginable at all, right? Like it's and those victories, whether they're 6-figure victories or you saved your designer a couple hours by helping him out or something, right? Like that feels so good. Like those wins, I've not found a high that is equivalent. Tried and I like it, but it's just like that's just something, you know, like
You put in the reps trying to find that high, you know. It's no, it's yeah.
Well, and like I'll say this, like the last 11 months, like it's funny that you say 11 months because the first Comic Industry Insiders Live was the day that in the last 11 months that my whole world kind of started going in a weird toilety direction, right? Like the diamond of it all this past year has caused us a not insignificant amount of pain at the experience, right? Because it's made things tougher on all of our retail partners. It's made a lot of our content has been about what is a stalking horse bid and what the hell does this other legal mumbo jumbo mean? And like Kyle staying up late at night reading LexisNexis so he can understand court filings. And, you know, one of our biggest members of our leadership team is owed a mountain of money through this whole thing, right? And I've taken pretty significant pay cuts to keep this thing going. But you know what? I would rather make no money doing this than a lot of money doing something. Listen, if I'm making no money doing this, I got to go do something else, right? But like, I would much rather have to hustle and sell, you know, stuff out of my collection that I don't want to sell to be able to pay my bills than, again, go back to having to make sure I keep my pinky out of the rivet press.
So 3 things, having listened for a little bit as I'm sorting through. Number 1 is I feel like we should have been doing this on the experience so that I could be live selling, because I'm opening boxes as we talk and I'm like, I don't want, does anybody want this? Yeah.
We should totally do that.
That would be fun. Actually, that'd be a fun one.
there was a moment where he was gonna do blind bags at the convention.
That's right. That's right. So the
should probably do that before that bubble pops.
Still got 3 years in it. That's number 1. Number 2 is whenever Blake is the king of saying just the right, like you think he's going to be rambling for a little while and he'll say something so succinct and so good that I have to like write it down. At one point we were talking about what kind of content we wanted to do, and he said the word micro lessons, and I went, oh fuck, and I wrote that down, and it's been sticking on my desk ever since. But I will say we finally got to a place where I want you to do a logo that says Comics MBA micro lessons. So can you put that on your to-do list? Because I think that would be great. So okay, good.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
let's make a logo. I mean, I've done it. I did it for me. I did it for me.
Exactly.
Oh man, I have such a great logo, but it would be so inappropriate. Anyway.
All right. So, yeah, no. But that actually dovetails into one of 2 things that came out of listening to Kyle talk, which is you do this long enough and you start to get an understanding of, okay, I want to do this project, but there are 15 things I'm identifying that we need. And we only have like 12 of them. Can we go make the other 3, or can we go find the other 3? And who do we know can give us the other 3? And sometimes you get to a place where you realize we just can't get number 15, and maybe we can't really do this until we get there. But then suddenly 15 shows up, right? I've wanted to do some sort. I bought comics.mba like probably 5 years ago. And it's just been sitting in my box of URLs. And we got to a place where I'm like, oh, it's time to do these lessons. We can call it Comics MDA. I own that. And then, you know, and then this piece of micro lessons is stuck here on all the things. You start to understand what the voids look like, so that when they show up, you know, oh, well, now it's time. It wasn't time before. You know, I could have forced it to happen 5 years ago and it would have sucked. I could have forced Comic Center to happen in 2010 and it would have sucked, right? Or I would be a stinking rich influencer, one of the 2. But that's one. The other is, you talked about, like, you know, they really did throw their hat in the ring, over the wall. There's another Aaron Sorkin reference for you, Kyle. They threw their hat over the wall by saying we're going to do content Sunday through Friday. We do the same thing, right? When we first started the podcast, you know, I thought I was going to have a team doing it with me, a crew on camera, and they all said, no, you're doing it. At the last minute too, was really annoying. But ever since then, I've gotten much better at doing interviews, and I feel like we're getting there. I still have a long way to go, but at the time, Steph, who is our producer on that, was saying, well, a lot of these are really hard to do. They're a lot of work. Maybe you can do this like once a month or every 2 weeks. And I was, no, if we're doing this, I want to do it every week, weekly. And I sucked. Those first few are horrible. I can't watch them. I just opened the box with my notes that I printed out for the first few, and I'm just remembering how bad they were. So there's that. But by saying we're going to do it weekly, we had to do the reps, right? By going into a convention, one of the things I tell early young creators is you absolutely have to table. I don't care if you think you can get into comic shops. I don't care if you think you're good enough to go into crowdfunding right now. I don't care if you are already famous, whatever, you still need to go and sit at a table and you need to pitch this book 10,000 times, because every time you pitch it, you're going to watch the people that you're pitching. And you're going to know that when I say this, their eyebrow goes up, or when I say this, they look at their phone, and you're going to know what the phrase is. It's going to actually make them go, all right, I'll buy it. And you will get those reps into a place where, I think I've given this speech on your show, Blake, but you get to the point where you have given that so many times that when it's time to like pitch a publisher or pitch a producer or pitch a license, somebody's going to buy the license for your books for, I don't know. It's not Pops anymore, whatever it is, right? When you get the opportunity to pitch, you are going to know that pitch so well, because it is truly, there you go. I can't click it. Practice.
You can't press the buttons.
God damn it. I'm so used to being able to click it.
What's up, Taylor Ann?
But that's just it. It is there is no replacement for getting in the reps. And I wish there was. I wish it was so easy. I wish it was easier, but it's just not. So anyway, that was those two things.
It does seem though that there's a lot more. Well, I mean, like where you guys are, I mean, you're in a more happening area, right? But it seems like more and more there's like Midwest cons that aren't playing it. Like there's more and more I'm like, holy shit, I've never heard of this. And it seems like I know like Anthony's tabled at a couple that like I hadn't heard of. And then all of a sudden because of how the algorithm works, like, Anthony's there, and then I see like a few other like Instagram artists are there too. And it's like, wow, like these, so there's more and more, it seems like there's smaller places to table at, right? To kind of, you can kind of get it's still costing money. And your time is worth, my time's worth a lot more than I sure thought it was for a while, so I really do realize how much time is worth. So anyway, like that's worth a lot in itself, but even the smaller tables, everything adds up. So, but there's just more and more opportunities. I feel like I wish there was a way to know more about that. Like from state to state, city to city, the smaller place. Cause I mean, like some of these, they're like Cullen Bunn. He's a big Midwestern horror comic writer, right? And he goes to a lot of shops and these smaller Midwest, a lot of these guys they'll go to you can meet some cool people and I don't really know how to hear about them. And it's weird. I'm in the industry. You would think I would hear about them, but I don't.
There used to be like websites with lists, and there used to be like Facebook groups that like monitored this stuff, and none of it exists anymore. Because as it turns out, as Adam is so fond of saying, it's really hard to do when nobody wants to pay for it. Right. And it's like I can do 25 shows a year without ever having to get on a plane. And that's like without having to like stop driving. Like I can drive without like, okay, I maybe got to stop at one gas station and get a hot dog and go to the bathroom, but otherwise I don't have to stop getting to the show. Right. Like I think the furthest show I do every year is 5 hours in Traverse City, Michigan. Like not that far, like in terms of actual geographical distance. Right. It ain't like I'm in Texas where it takes 2 days to drive across the state. So I can do 25 shows a year without ever having to get on a plane. And having that means you get a lot more reps a lot faster.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I sell at a show, like I know what my pitch is on all of my product because I'm doing it half the weekends a year. Right. Like it's just the more reps you get, the better you are. The 10,000 hours, the Malcolm Gladwell.
Speaking
Yeah.
of reps, I'm going to segue to gas station hot dogs real quick because
Oh,
if you're not used to them, they'll hurt you. But if you get
Shout
used
out
to
to
them,
Sheath, Wawa's, Bucky's, Come and Go, and Quick Trip.
Quick Trip's pretty good. Mike, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm sorry I missed your good night post, but anyway, just the hot dog, it reminded me of a story. Because one of the last times I bought a hot dog at 7-Eleven's, like the big chain here, and we have Quick Trips too. But anyway, there's 7-Eleven down the street. I bought a big bite there. And I'm like, I bought two big bites, and I shot a whole bunch of gas station nacho cheese all over them because that's what I love to do. And I turn around, and this dude, he's probably 55, 60, no teeth, buying cigarettes. And I mean, he's got a couple teeth, but they're like brown and parts have fallen off. And he's like, "You're gonna eat that?" And I was like, "Yeah, we eat both of them." I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I was like, "I'm getting like." Even meth addicts are like, I can't believe you eat hot dogs. And it's like, are we being for real right now? Like, I can't believe you smoke rocks. Anyway, this is reminding me of a fun story.
In your neighborhood.
But on that note of like finding more cons, Anthony, you're getting ready to do a new one. But you, like I said, you've found some of these small. Like, how are you finding these places? And what's your thought process on like, when do you get like recommended shows? Like, hey, maybe try this one out, or like, what's your thought on how to pick where to table at?
Well, first of all, I would agree. It's like really hard to find out when a con is happening, where they're happening. Like there's just like, if there was like a database or something, and even then you'd have to do some digging. But like the last con I went to, I found out like 2 days before. I messaged the account on Instagram. I was like, hey, can I table? They're like, a table just opened up. So I was there 2 days later. But like being prepared for a con, I guess, is really good. Like always having stock, and just making the table look good enough, no matter where you are, goes a long way. So
you got cool standees and you got a new banner and all sorts of shit. I got a banner.
I was like, you know what? It almost even feels like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. Because it's like, why me, a banner? Like, who am I? But like, I don't know. It looks cool, and I think people would see it, and it just feels legit. So next week I'm going to be at the Big Apple Con. So that's going to be only my third con, honestly. I'm signed up for the Super Jersey Con Expo in April. So I'm just, I'm finding them. The Super Jersey wow, Super Jersey Con Expo. They reached out to me on Twitter, and that's how we connected. And Big Apple Con also in a similar way. I just found them like online, like when I was talking about other cons, like they connected with me. So I'm always looking for more. And I like smaller ones too, I think they're friendlier to indie people. And it's not like a competition really with like big names. Like, I don't know. I just want to do more, of course, but I only have one issue of one comic. So I'm working on more things. So, I'm going to always expand what I'm doing. But yeah, it is a journey, and I'm only just starting it. So like,
you got some sick variants though.
Yeah.
You got great variant. And then you did an additional printing too, didn't you, for something? Or was it
then I did a second printing for Superguy. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I like how you said that too, that it's smart to keep stock, because I've seen bigger creators like not seem to worry about that when I felt like they should, and it's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, well, you have 1 and 3. You didn't think to maybe have 2 in your, it's anyway.
Well, and the politics behind that and the inner workings of some of these bigger publishers with these bigger creators, man. Like, I'm just learning about that because I have a friend, one of my best friends in the industry, just his variant of a rather large book came out today, and he's like, my hometown con is this weekend and I don't have comps.
Wow.
And so I'm like, you got to call your editor, right? And he's like, I did. And they're like, you'll get them sometime in December. It's like, bro, it's a month after the book comes out. So he's going around to comic shops, buying out their inventory on his variant so he can sell them at at his hometown convention this weekend.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Grand Rapids Comic-Con.
I used to always think like everybody got comps and it was like a totally normal thing. And then I did. There's just shout out. I won't say the. I'm not gonna say the name, but a lot of my old job. I could say a lot of things about it, but there was a time when someone asked to get us comps because we all put up. It was one of like the first Kickstarter campaigns we had done for like a client. We did some extra work for it and stuff, and it was a harder campaign. It was slow, and we didn't know if it was going to fund. Actually, we were kind of nervous about it. Anyway, like it was a tough one, and we were like, hey, can we get like comps for the team? And they were like, no, it's kind of expensive, but we can send you the damaged copies. We're like, I don't think we want to give the torn covers to the team. Thanks, though. And I was like, oh shit, like that's. And then I was like, well, and then I really like not even all publishers, send comps out, which is funny because then you'll see like some of like the bigger indie pubs that have like the influencers on like TikTok and the moderate like comic book influencers on TikTok. And I remember one of them was like, I have all these boxes of comps. And I was like, well, I'm glad you do. I was like, that must be nice. But like shout out to, Adam and Megan sent out like the whole team got copies of Comics the Magazine. Which by the way, there's a link in the description. You should sign up. You should sign up for Comics the Magazine, and get on the mailing list so you guys don't miss the big launch in March.
That's right, baby.
It's gonna be exciting, and if you sign up, you won't miss anything. We got cool stuff going on. Joe Keating, when Joe Keating gets excited about stuff, like I get fired up, and he's just like, dude, if you whisper Comics the Magazine and that hair blows by him and ruffles his beard, he just gets stoked out of nowhere.
Well, it's an interesting thing is I took a bunch. Megan made me take a bunch from Baltimore. Shout out to Megan. And they didn't last the week. Like I had this big stack and I'm visiting comic shops on my way back from Baltimore, and I'm visiting comic shops. I was at Cincinnati Comic-Con the next weekend, and on my way back from Cincinnati Comic-Con, and just like, hey, this thing is coming in March, and like there's going to be a bundle where the price will be low enough that you can give them away for free. And it's Rico Renzi and Joe Keating who won an Eisner Award, and like great people, and here, and Rob Guillory and all this other stuff, and like people got really amped for it.
Oh, just wait till you see what we have planned for issue 1. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
I know. It's
so excited.
And
crazy.
So again, I can't click the buttons, but I want to click the buttons. Jeremy had asked a question early in the show.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up as a joke because we brought this up at the end of last week when he dropped a nuclear level bomb. Jerry says, I have a high. By the way, I keep forgetting to tell you this, Adam. You and Brian need to read the comments when we show them on the show for our audio only listeners. I always forget this. I have a high level of conversation question, which I floated in the Tuesday broadcast. How do I, as a retailer, translate the enthusiasm and excitement of small press creators into selling their comics? Well, Jeremy, I'm going to say one thing real quick. I think small indie press publishers need to get more fucking excited about selling their goddamn comic books. I love you all. I love you all. I will call you out. If you ever say I'm launching a campaign next week or next month or tomorrow, and I apologize for marketing it and trying to sell my dream, shut your mouth. It's your social media platform. It's there for you to utilize. And this is your book. This is your baby. This is your dream. Be annoying about it. Like, kick those comments into the dirt. Fucking put the links to your Kickstarter on your grandma's Facebook page, even if she doesn't know how to click it. I don't care. Like, just be annoying about it. Be out there. Be present. Get online. Act like you want this book to happen. Don't hide. Don't hide behind your own enthusiasm, and don't be scared of being annoying. All right.
Yeah, but I was going to caveat his question and say, how do retailers get excited about anything?
Well,
Like,
that is the tough thing,
especially
man.
something new, right? Like, how
That is
can
the
we Comics the Magazine get them excited about Comics the Magazine? How can
Well, so my big, professional answer, like if you're a publisher and you ask me that question, I'm going to say one, Blake is absolutely right. If the book is good, it is up to you to be fucking PT Barnum. We took so much shit at Bad Idea for marketing, right? And there's still people to this day that are like, you guys, I read all the emails, like, fuck off. We made great books and we loved talking about them. And you know what? We had fun talking about them. We made up new programs because they were fun. We made up things that made people jump through hoops because it's fun. Jeremy, if he was still on, would be giving me shit for this in the comments, but because
I remember shops complaining to me, not because I was just like friends, like in DMs when you guys were telling, like, because you had to put the display like a certain, like, do you have like a certain feet from the entrance or something crazy? I remember that.
You just had to put it. You just had to put it up in a conspicuous place. That was just it. By the way, nothing we did there, any of those rules. Let's talk about Bad Idea for a minute. By the way, when we run that Tyler, when we run that Tyler interview, when he interviewed me for his side of the interview, he was the first person who's asked me questions about Bad Idea in any of these things since I've been there.
Oh wow!
Since I left, so I gave some dirt. But what I will say is, like, all of the things that we asked retailers to do, none of those was uncommon in other industries, right? It is not uncommon for people to say, our product must be displayed this way. There are rules about pricing. All of those things are true. So I think that but that's just it. We knew that we were making great fucking books. And we knew that I personally think that once you make the absolute best book you can, whether you were publishing it or you're writing it, or especially if you're doing both, anything you do to get people's attention after that is okay.
Yeah.
Anything you do to get their attention is okay, because honestly, it's the hardest thing in the world right now. We're all playing for attention. Attention is the commodity that everyone on this channel and everybody in the comic shops and everybody on TV and on the internet and social media is just about trading in attention. And so anything you do to get the people's attention when you're making a really great book, that is worthwhile. Now, that's
a lot.
a lot. There you go.
There's a reason it's right here next to me. I just reread it.
Oh, I just put one of those away. Where'd it go? Anyway, yeah. So I say that to say, so to answer the question, the answer to your question is, how do I get retailers interested in Comics the Magazine? Well, number one is we're giving it away for free. Every retailer who reached out to us is getting 5 free copies of number 0. We're pricing number 1 in a way that they can buy it and give it away for free as a marketing expense. If they buy in bundles, it's going to be 50 cents each, right? It's not free, but if your subscribers are not worth 50 cents to you, then you need to rework how your discount structure works, right? So there's that. Number 2, it's not my job it's not the retailer's job to hand sell my product. I know that is going to get me in trouble more often than not with publishers, but it is not my job as a marketer to convince the retailer to hand sell my product. It's my job as the marketer to get the customer to sell my product to the retailer. It's my job to get the customer to go in there and say, I want this on my pull list. Pay attention to this. I want to tell my other 3 friends to subscribe to it. So that now you've sold 3 copies and you can order a 4th one to put on the shelf and sell if somebody comes in. And once you see that 3 or 4 people are interested in it, maybe you'll pick it up and you'll flip through it. And if I've done a good job, my job as a publisher, and made it interesting and made it good and did the best quality work I could, you might get excited about it and you might hand sell it. And that is the holy grail, but I have to earn that. And if any publisher out there who says, well, retailers just won't get behind your project anymore, fuck you. It's time for you to get behind your project. It's time for you to get out there and get it on the shelves and then sell it off the shelves. Well, I'll make more money if I'm just selling it direct. Why didn't I sell it directly through my website? Because it's not about making money. It's about making a brand. It's about having people follow you to the next thing. It's about not having to do all of that work every time you put something out because you've developed a name.
Mhm.
So that those retailers, those staff in those stores, they're watching for your name. It's about so that when the customers put everything by this person on their subscription, that's what it's about. It's not about how am I going to make a profit on this. If you have to make a profit every time you go out there, especially when you're getting started, you are doing it wrong. There you go. That's my soapbox. You got me all riled up, Blake, and it's like almost it's a 10:30. That's incredible.
Hey, by the way, real quick, we mentioned tight pitches earlier. I don't think I've heard yours, Adam. What's it? Let drop. By the way, Omnibuds, DM me your address. I will send you one. I'll get you. I got a few. I'll send you one out. But Adam, drop. What's your con table pitch for Comics the Magazine?
Man, I haven't. You know what? I haven't given it 10,000 times, so I'm still working on it. But I will tell you, Comics the Magazine. It depends on who I'm talking to. But since we're talking to fans and we're talking to creators, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a business switch. Yeah,
oh, I hit the right button this time.
Put me up big. This is Comics the Magazine. It's number 0. In olden times, there were these things called magazines, and they would live inside of comic shops. They would live at newsstands, and these magazines were something that you would read about the thing that you're passionate about, the things that you would get really jazzed up about. And part of it was that was your identity, right? You know, you're really into music because you subscribe to Rolling Stone. You know that you're into comics because you pick up Wizard magazine every time it comes out in the comic shop. And those magazines were the place that we came together as community. They were the place that we talked about the things that we loved. We wrote in letters to them. We would talk about the articles that were in them with our friends. These magazines were this place that culture kind of coalesced. We looked around as marketers and realized 2 things. One, there is no one place where we're coalescing. We're so disparate now. There's not even one social media platform we're all on. We can't even agree with that. 2, comics buyers generally, I've been interviewing and surveying them for many, many years. 90% of them have no idea what they're going to buy when they walk in the door. Right? They have a subscription. Maybe they looked at a list before they walked in the door, but 9 out of 10 times they go in, they look at the shelf, and they go, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. That's a cool cover. What's in my pull list? Okay, I'll take those. Here's a stack. They don't even say, I've got $50 to spend. They say, let me take my stack. That's 90% of the time when people are buying comics in comic shops. So how do I, as a marketer, get in front of that guy? I just told you I can't rely on the hand seller to sell my book. So how do I get in front of them? The answer was magazines. You could buy an ad in Wizard magazine. Omnibuds popped up there, right? You could buy an ad in it. You could, as a publisher, you could develop a relationship with the editors, and you could figure out how to place interviews or features about your books. You could do so many things. You could get reviews done. All of those things. We had a whole network. We had a whole system about selling comics that involved these magazines. Now the magazines are gone. So that's what Comics the Magazine is. It is our attempt at doing that. And in doing so, we're going to create a monthly document. It's going to be on your shelves once a month, the first week of every month, starting in March. And it is just going to be celebrating what is so fucking cool about comics. Like, we are going to be talking about why comics are important once a month from now on. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of comics. I wish I could tell you what we're going to have in issue 1, but we are covering the whole width and breadth of what comics is putting out in our first issue, right? And that's going to be every month. We're going to be talking about data. We're going to be talking about what's selling in the stores. Nobody's really doing that right now in a real way. We're going to be talking about who are the hottest creators right now. Can you tell me right now without looking it up, who is the best selling cover artist? We know. And we're having a platform to show you, right? Who is the best-selling writer? If you take everything that they've done this month, who is the best-selling writer? That's what it's going to be. And it's going to be, as Gabe points out in the chat, it's going to be about starting conversations. It's going to be about comics is a culture, and culture thrives on conversation. there is no culture without conversation. There is no culture without connection. And it's going to be about creating that connection. It's going to be that connective tissue that brings our industry together. And so if you are seeing this and you've heard me do that entire speech, I would say it's time to go to your comic shop and say, this is going to be out in March. I want to make sure I have the first copy, because if we get that cover that we have planned, man, if we get that right, oh, it's going to be so sweet. But anyway, you won't get it unless you tell your retailer, because they're too busy. They need you to tell them what it is that you want. They need you to go in and interact with them. So do that. Also go to comicsthemagazine.com right now. Sign up for our mailing list. We will be letting you know. We'll be reminding you. I come from the bad idea school. We're gonna be hounding you into doing some setting up your subscription. And tell your friends. Legitimately, if anything I just said excited you, tell your friends you're excited, because comics is a culture, and culture dies when conversation dies. So tell your friends what it is that you love. All right, let's go. You are Blake. Did you put yourself on mute?
I did. I always, when I take a drink, I always put it on mute because the ice clinks.
Gotcha. Heard. Yeah.
But then sometimes I forget to take it off. And then people are like, Blake. Anyway. That was a great passionate pitch. Everything I've seen what you guys are working on is crazy and intense and exciting, and I agree. Like I think comics needs it. I think we need more community now, just in general. Just more strong, just community, whether it's video games or books and novels and book clubs and stuff. If you can find a few people that you can share a passion with, and kind of get that out every now and then, like get the demons out, because it builds up. It builds up like anger and like regret and like other kind of negative emotions, like that thing, even though you love it and it's so pure, sometimes when you don't get to share it, we don't get to talk about it, we don't get to like have that communal experience, like it sours, right? Anyway,
if you talk to a mental health professional, right, like they'll tell you that right now at any time other than maybe during the height of the pandemic, people are starving for community, right? The number one cause of mental illness in the United States is people feeling lonely, people feeling isolated, people feeling like they're by themselves, right? Yeah. So like you can't always create community or create a culture with somebody who Blake's in Kansas City, I'm in Ohio, Adam's in New York, and Anthony is, I don't know where Anthony is, but like he's not in one of those places, huh?
New York. I'm in New York too, yeah.
A different part of New York, and New York is huge. So like it's a thing, right? So like there's this
Bronx,
idea of,
right, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I'm gonna be there tomorrow night. Maybe we can grab a drink or something at some point.
Someone get me a slice of pizza, please. Anyway, but like you can't form a community when you're in all these different disparate places, or you would think you can't.
Sure.
But things like comic books and Comics the Magazine and comic fandom, and like it's what we're trying to do on the experience. It's what we're trying to do, what Blake's trying to do here. It's what Comics the Magazine is trying to do, is create community around a shared interest, even if people are all over the place and all over, they're in every different corner. And so the idea of finding your tribe is so 100%. Important. And that's my actual pitch for Comics the Magazine, right? Is it's Wizard for a modern sensibility, but it's the place where you're going to find your tribe.
Yeah.
You're going to find the people who are into that weird book that nobody else wants to order, but you read about it in Comics the Magazine, and it's dope.
And it's about coming together about things we love, right? It's not about coming together about things that we hate, right? If we get together about things we hate, it's like eating nothing but gas station hot dogs, right? It feels good in the moment, but you're in a world.
You feel dirty. You feel dirty later.
Did you know, by the way, that colorectal cancer is the number 3 leading cause of cancer among in men over 40? Did you know that? And then and on average, if you had, what is it? The CDC is saying if you had about 31 to 50 grams of fiber every day.
I thought you were about to say, like, if you've eaten 31 to 50 hot dogs, you're going to die. I was like, later.
You definitely have it if you've eaten that much 7-Eleven hot dogs.
That sucks real bad, Adam.
Omnibus, thank you for being in the chat, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I really appreciate it. And I got your DM, man. I'll shoot you one of those issues. You have to check it out. What they're doing is really, really cool. Yeah, it's I'm trying to eat more fiber. Anthony is too. We're both doing breakfast slop. I fell off for a little bit, but I'm back on it.
You got
some onions maybe with that hot dog. Some slaw.
Onions have fiber?
Maybe. Yeah, onions have fiber. They're vegetables.
I like onions.
Yeah, right. How do you feel about
I like onions on hot dogs?
How do you feel about
sauerkraut? Wait,
sauerkraut?
Here's the real problem. Here's the real problem, Blake. If you don't take care of your other illnesses, you get a condition that I have where you can't eat fiber. So you have to get it through these things called pills that taste like sawdust.
Huh.
See, this is what you're trying to avoid, my friend.
All right.
Don't ever get old.
Sauerkraut is okay. I have to do it, like, if I do a Reuben, I have to do it light. I can't just eat, like, my dad will take like a Polish sausage and a fork and sauerkraut and just shovel it into, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do that.
I bet that man poops like a fucking monk.
I bet he does it because he's fucking addicted to potato chips. Like, he's diabetic too, and he like won't eat all day. He'll get fucking dizzy and weird, and it's like, did you fucking eat today? And he's like, oh no, I don't feel good in the morning. I'm like, yeah, because you don't eat anyway. But he'll, like, for dinner, he'll eat like a bag of Lay's potato chips, and then like in the morning, like, man, my blood sugar is kind of high. Like, yeah, bro. And it's him and the 2 dogs, and they sit in his room, and like, he'll eat a couple chips, and he gives chips to the dogs. And so the fucking dogs are addicted to potatoes. It's fucking ridiculous here, man.
I can't talk about high blood sugar right now.
If he switched over to pork rinds or chicharrones, that's gonna help his blood sugar, because it is going to be. We don't want to. How did we get into this?
You started talking about pooping.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
It always comes back to fiber and Blake's asshole. It never fails. I'm trying to save comics too and get indie writers hyped about themselves, and it always comes back to fiber.
I need you to survive. Have you ever seen somebody who died of colorectal cancer? It's not pretty, Blake.
No,
it's not pretty.
It doesn't sound pretty. Just the name sounds. They should name it something nicer. I feel like. Also,
the other
shout out to sauteed
cancer,
sauerkraut.
bro.
Maybe that's. I don't
right,
know if I've had like throw it in a pan and then I'll try it.
Good.
I'll try it. I'll fuck around.
Good.
Fuck around one of these days.
It's awesome.
I also found some keto hot dog buns that have like shit tons. Like, each one, I swear to God, has like 13 grams of fiber in it. It seems unsafe.
They taste like cardboard.
Someone told me if you toast them, like throw it in the pan and toast it and get it warm and eat it with a hot dog, it's pretty good. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, so this is a fun thing that I've learned over 30 years of being a diabetic, right? You buy the keto hot dog buns, you buy the keto like tortilla shells. They have the same amount of carbs in them as the non.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you're getting protein or you're getting more fiber, but you're taking the same amount of insulin. It doesn't really help you. Dumb.
Some interesting, man. I could really go down. I could do another hour on this, by the way, because I've been doing a lot of study about this.
We kicked off the show with 20 minutes of white guys talking about the weather, which was pretty solid. By the way, we're all bald white guys. Okay,
yep.
We're all there's four bald white guys in comics. There's not enough of us in comics. We need more bald white men telling the story. I'm getting
more bald
joke.
tomorrow.
Don't come for me.
I scheduled a head shave. So
nice.
Oh yeah. I'm in my winter fur. I'm putting on my winter fur.
No, yeah, because I don't like shaving my head all the time, so I got the ring. I got the old man ring around my head.
Yeah,
I gotta go to a fancy dinner tomorrow. I should probably look not homeless.
Yeah, well, the hair on my head is the only thing that hasn't gone gray yet. So it's
Gabe says the dietary fiber is what levels out the carbs for non-diabetics. Some really great wraps out there that jam you up. Even I don't want to be jammed up. That sounds unpleasant. I just want to not die of colorectal extravaganza or whatever the fuck Adam was talking about. That
all right. So I'm saying is the dietary fiber along with fats. You got to add some fats, right? Some good clean fats that go with it. That's going to allow you to even out those insulin levels. Also, really crazy hack. You start the day off with a little bit of vinegar. That actually mellows out your insulin levels. It's I'm telling you right now, once you get to a place where you're just like it's moving through you rapidly, or not rapidly, consistently, that's the key, my friend.
If you're diagnosed diabetic, consult a dietitian and an endocrinologist before taking Adam's advice.
Please do.
I made that mistake, and it really can mess you up the other direction. Just say it.
What's funny, Adam, our friend David Crispino, I had him and Tony Grigori on the show. I've interviewed them both a bunch of times, but I had them both on a while back for Ancient Noise. And Tony knew me, but David didn't really yet. Tony and I both had gout. We like dealt with gout for a couple times in our life. And when I quit drinking and left the bar when I got fired, I never had a flare up. Since so like no more bar food and anyways, but we were talking about it, and we started talking about like diet, and Tony was talking about how he changed his diet, and David sit there and he finally was like, what the fuck? What kind of show is this? He was like, I thought we were here to talk comics. So now like every time if he's ever on, I always make a joke about gout. He's like, not again. I love that man. He's such good people.
You should tell Joe that story. He and Crispy are really good friends. He's I actually offered Crispino a job way back in the day. So
oh really?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I love he hired me. I forgot. I worked on their Christmas book. That's another kicks. Adam asked me what campaigns I worked on, and I've worked on so many I fucking forgot. That's kind of cool though. But no, I did. I worked on I really liked Taft Sturgeon. Like I loved their book, and I was so stoked when they did the Christmas present. And yeah, I helped to do some PR, and I helped get them on some podcast shows. I got them on some shitty pod. Like I felt so bad. They were honest and it was cool. And we had a conversation, but he was like, yeah, if we do this again, I don't ever want to talk to these people. And this show was real weird. I was like, I'm sorry, man. One of those shows, Kyle, was that person we were talking about earlier. That I was like, oh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm so sorry, guy. Yeah, he was like, I didn't realize we were being interviewed to he was like, he talked down to us and made us sound like idiots about Kickstarter marketing. Now he was like, didn't really make me want to talk to him for very long. I was like, oh God. Anyway, yeah.
So inside baseball that will only make sense to three of us. The second answer to the questions you asked me at Baltimore, Adam, is directly targeted at the person that Blake is talking about right now. My answer was directly
throwing
targeted
secret shade on Blake's buzz.
Directly targeted at that guy.
I wish I could remember what it was, but it's in our feed now,
Data.
so it's somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Data is my answer.
Data, yeah.
Oh, he knows.
I'm sure he doesn't. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit either. You shouldn't. Tony and David are great people, and they're making great books, and they're fucking hilarious, and they're both fun to talk to. So in no way should you be any kind of podcast host and talk to those. They're not difficult guests, and to have them walk away and be like, I wasn't stoked to talk about my comic, dude. You know me, Adam. I don't like doing things wrong and messing up. That fucked me up, dude. I was like, oh God, I'm ruined. I was like, but and they just, they were at the time, like they were big creators to hire me. It was a bigger book. They were talking about a bigger goal. I was nervous. It was a bigger job. I was trying to take it seriously. And anyway, I was glad they were on. I was, but it was a bummer. And it was a bummer that, they were that we hadn't fallen out then. Right. Like, it was like, I was trying to be like, hey, like, I know this good podcaster. You guys should be on his show. And he was
All
a
right,
dick
somebody
to
should
him.
put the name in the private chat now. I can't.
Yeah,
handle
I'm
it.
so interested to know.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, and I'll just say this. I mean, I've been interviewing people
Mm.
for the better
Okay.
part of 25 years. I've interviewed everybody from Zildrunas Agauskis to, big names in the comic book industry to hockey players who barely speak English. If you can't get the people you're interviewing excited to talk about the thing that they've devoted their life to doing, go sit in a room by yourself and have your lips sewed shut. Like,
Yeah. That's why I
It's
scream at
Zildru-
people to
like-
start the show.
I'm interviewing. I'll never forget. I'm interviewing Zildrunas Ilgauskas, right? Who is a basketball player, and I don't give a shit about basketball. But my job was sports talk radio, and I go, so tell me about the climate for players in the NBA. And he talked for 20 minutes. I'm going, tell us about your game this weekend. And he talked for another 5 minutes. I go, thanks for coming by, and we were done. Because if you let people talk about the thing they care about, they're gonna talk with passion. They're going to talk about interesting things. They're going to talk about things you wouldn't otherwise get from them. If you ask them, what's your favorite sandwich? You're going to get an answer, but it isn't going to help your interview. So it's this idea of you got to understand, if you can't get the people to talk about the thing they care about, then you're playing the game wrong.
Yeah, you're doing the wrong thing. I think what happened was they were trying to, instead of organically use your show as a means to showcase things you're knowledgeable about, things you're passionate about, and reminding people that, maybe you offer some services they may be in like a regular way. I think what happened was he was bearing down on people like, this is why you're doing this wrong and you should hire me. And I think it was almost like bully marketing, which I mean, unless you're like paying people to like, whip you and tie you up and step on you and do, like maybe I know there's people that enjoy that, but most people don't enjoy being talked down to and belittled, especially in indie comics when it's hard enough, so I think that's kind of what happened. But it's still not, it doesn't make it right. But it's, I think it was like, oh, this is, it's, do this, hire me, and you're doing that wrong and do this wrong, and I can fix this. And I've said a lot of shit, but I've never done that. The only thing, the one thing I did was I did a podcast, and I loved indie comics, and I gave people a platform, and that got me a job. And then when that job, well, that got me like little tiny jobs, and then it got me a big job, and then now it got me other good jobs, and better jobs and better experiences. But I never had to talk down to people. I never had to send spam emails. I never sent like weird Kickstarter messages to people being like, you should hire me or you're going to fail. No, I did real good work for people. I work too hard for people. It's a fault, but it works. Like, and they told their friends about it. And then they told and that's, and I never, and people, I'm not everybody's favorite. I know, but I know I'm real with people, and a lot of people like talking to me. And when I've met people professionally, they've remembered me because of that too. Because I make people feel comfortable. Kickstarter stresses people out, and I'm pretty good at talking people off the ledge and making them feel comfy. And they like that. They don't like meanness, and we're just trying to be Mr. Rogers here. So I'll just trying to get the nice neighborhood, the nice train loaded up with nerds, and drive around and see the puppets and the king and the people. I don't remember the puppets. It's been a long time, but it's just, I like those kind of vibes. Brian Garside said it in the other day. He was talking about books to recommend people, and he was like, I love these like things for kids, these like Mr. Rogers vibes. We need more of that. And yeah, we do. Be nice to people. Guys, yet again.
Remember, Michael Keaton got his start. Batman got his start in acting, pulling the train for Mr. Rogers.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he worked at the PBS station in Pittsburgh before he was anybody. So he was the guy who pulled the train for Mr. Rogers.
That's crazy.
And,
awesome.
I've got to go. Like, I've got a very early morning. But I wanted to ask Anthony a question that's been bothering me since like early in the show.
Go for it.
Issues 1 and 2 of Superguy, My Date with the President's Daughter.
Yes.
Do you have a strong opinion on the pink dress from the 1990s Disney original movie, My Date with the President's Daughter? And did that have as profound an effect on your young manhood as it did mine?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, is this a reference to that movie? And does
Yeah.
he have a strong opinion on, oh my God, that pink dress?
That's hilarious. Look, I always say I'm going to try and keep these to an hour. I can't do a 10-minute presentation. I can't do an hour-long podcast. And these are things, if you love me, you're just going to have to deal with it. And real quick, because I'm not apologizing, I designed my first Not Safe for Work campaign, and it just funded, and we're really excited about it. We're about to get 150 backers. We're about to hit the 48-hour surge. This is HEARTEATER. It is a sexy pirate tale about sexy pirates, but it's also got really great writing, real solid art. The action is sexy, and the sexiness is sexy. I'm telling you. And actually, what's cool about this book, if you're like into it, you can get cameo tiers, right? And you can get regular cameos or sexy cameos. You can get in some sexy time.
Hold on, sexy cameos.
Sexy cameos. You can be. Hold on, I love my graphic for this. you can be. It's here somewhere. There you go. You can be a part of a whole new world in HEARTEATER for only $575. That is a steal. Living out your deepest, wondrous fantasies in the pages of a comic book. But for real, the writing is solid. Laguna Studios is doing a lot of stuff, and like when they're chasing, it's pirates. They're chasing treasure. It's adventure. It's Indiana Jones. It's wondrous, like awesome panel to panel swashbuckling, and some good fucking. Check it out. Links in the Kickstarter. Links in the description. Link to the Kickstarter is in the description. There we go. Guys, this has been so fun. I appreciated this so much. It's Adam, I haven't talked to you in such a long time. It was great catching up. I'm so glad things have been going well.
We should do this more often. Yeah.
Anthony, it was super awesome catching up with you, man. Everybody follow Superguy 2. Okay, got to get those numbers up on the number 2 campaign, because number 2 has got to kick just as much ass. All right, let's go. Click. It doesn't even cost anything. Click the button, you assholes. Anyway, click it. Superheroes are awesome. Anthony's superheroes are even better. Super hilarious, and I love his little robots. They're amazing. I hope the shows go well for you. I hope the tabling. I love you, dude, and appreciate you, and hope the books keep going well. Kyle, I'm really stoked to think more about what we talked about earlier. Because I'm pretty excited about it, and everything you're doing at the EXP is really cool. Adam, all the stuff I introduced when you came on tonight, we just got a lot going on week to week, and it would be real great if y'all went to pranadm.com, signed up for that newsletter, then go to comicsmagazine.com, sign up for that newsletter, then go to YouTube.
Amen.
Comic Industry Insiders.
Amen.
Like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Don't forget
the motherfucker. It's late. It's late.
It's really late.
Everybody who came and tuned in, like thank you so much, Gabe. Thanks for hanging out. Gabe works at Comic. He's the sales guy for Comics Magazine. By the way, if anybody reaches out about advertisements or anything, you will be talking to Gabe. He knows his stuff. He'll take great care of you. And
he's got the gout. So
he does have the gout. We all just got big club foots and clogged assholes here. Man, it's crazy.
Don't talk about club foot, man. I'm still wearing a walking boot. Like,
that's all right. We got to do the 4 Bald Guys podcast, and then we got to do the club foot clogged asshole podcast. I don't know how I'm going to have time to do all these shows, but we'll have to figure it out. The names are just too damn good. Everybody love more, hate less. Read all the books before they ban them. We'll be back next week, and we'll be back Tuesday and Thursday at Comic Industry Insiders. Check out the EXP. Check out everything Anthony's doing. Check out Comics and Chronic. It's a hilarious podcast where if they're talking about comics, movies, or both, you're going to laugh and have good times. Everybody, thank you so much. I love you. Good.